Hello guys. Today, we will do subform calculations in an invoice form. I have already created the customer and product forms. The customer form contains all the customer data. The product form contains 2 products along with their prices. Now, I will create the invoice form. In this form, I will add the invoice number as a single line field. Next, I will add a customer lookup field in the invoice form. Then, I will add the invoice date as a date type field. Now, we will create a new form for the invoice subform. This form is called Invoice Items. In this form, I will add a product lookup field. Then, I will add quantity as a number field. Finally, I will add rate and subtotal as currency fields. Now, I will go back to the invoice form and add the invoice items form as a subform. Next, I will open the invoice items form to set a bidirectional relationship. I will add an invoice lookup field. Enable the bidirectional option, and select the subform name. Now, both forms are linked using a relations. Finally, I will add a total field in the invoice form. Now I will open the invoice form. I will start adding some sample data. Inside the subform, I will add a new row and select a product. When a product is selected, the rate will be auto-populated from the product form because we already added the product price there. When I enter the quantity, the price will be calculated, the subtotal will be updated, and the total will also be displayed. Now, let's create the workflows. Our workflow will work on the invoice form, so I will select the invoice form. First, we want the rate to auto-populate when a product is selected. So, I will create a user input of a field workflow on the product lookup field and give it name. Now, initiate product workflow. First, I will check whether the product has a value by adding an if condition. I will use the if null condition to check whether the price is 0 or has a value. I will remove additional conditions and use only if null. Now, when I select a product, the rate will automatically update. If I remove the product value, the rate will become 0. That's why we are using if null. Since the rate is auto-populated, I will disable the rate field. I will create another onLoad workflow to disable the rate column when the form loads for the first time. Now, when I enter the quantity, the calculation will work as quantity times rate, and the value will update in the subtotal. I will create another user input of a field workflow on the quantity field. In this workflow, the rouse subtotal will be calculated as quantity times rate. When I select a product and enter the quantity, the subtotal will be calculated and updated. Now, if I remove the quantity value, I get an error. This happens because if the quantity is null, the workflow cannot perform the calculation. So, I will add an if condition at the top of the workflow. Now, it works without any errors. Next, the subtotal sum should update the total field. Each time the subform is triggered, the sum of all subtotal values is calculated and updated in the total field, without using a loop. Now, the workflows are working as planned. I will disable the subtotal and total fields because they are calculated automatically. Finally, let's test our workflows. The workflows are working properly. Thank you guys for watching this video. Person raising both hands in celebration.